Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday Westside Wellbeing with myself, Jamie from Coaches for Change. Today, we are going into part 2 of building a strong and resilient core at the start of 2026. So, first things we're going to do is we're just going to prep that core a little bit. So, we're going to start to engage and lengthen our abdominal muscles and into our transverse abdominals that live right in the base of that core, in between the hip line and the pelvis. So, all I want you to do is stand nice and still. Think about pulling your belly button in so it comes back towards your spine, and then visually think about lifting it up towards your diaphragm. So again, we get that expansion through the abdominal muscles. You should feel it open up into your lower back as well, and then just release that movement. We're going to do a few more of these. So we pull the belly button in, think about lifting and zipping it up towards that diaphragm. So again, we lengthen that center part of the core and relax. We're just going to go 2 more. Pull the belly button in, lift and zip it up towards that diaphragm, and really feel those abdominals pull in and lengthen below that rib cage, and release. We're going to go 1 more. Inhale and lift it up. And again, just visually, you should see my shoulders elevate, my torso becomes longer, my spine becomes longer. So I'm getting that length and engagement from the base of the core up, and release. So we're just going to loosen up into the hips a little bit. So hands are going to come onto the hips, and we're just going to do some gentle hip rotations. So again, just putting a little bit of movement through those hip joints. And again, this is going to put a little bit of activation into your glute med and your glute minimus and your hip flexors on the front of your hips, because we are going to be utilizing them quite a lot. And again, I said this last week, I'll say it again, the glutes are also part of the core, and it works all the way up to the top of that rib cage, covering that full circumference of the torso. Nice, and when you're ready, find that steady point to stop, and we'll just take those hip rotations in that opposite direction. So part 1, we did quite a lot of standing work, and again, we're going to take it up a little notch today. So we are going to be spending a lot more time down on the mat to really get into the depth of building that stable core and building into that strength and stability through the midriff. So we're just going to go for 3 more rotations. And once you've done that 3rd rotation, just find that point where it feels comfortable to stop. And then just re-level out the hips a little bit. From here, hands are going to come down by the sides, and we're just going to gently start to warm up those oblique muscles that run down the side of the torso. And again, don't worry about trying to take this too deep. Again, it's just to be able to start to get that little bit of contraction down the oblique muscles, the internal and external obliques that run right down the sides of that torso and support the rib cage and the spine into the abdomen. And we get a little bit of a stretch from one side, a little bit of a contraction on the other side. Lovely stuff. So what we are going to be doing today, just while we warm up those obliques and those abdominal muscles a little bit, we are going to be working 2 sets of exercises. So we're going to do 2 or 3 sets depending on the exercise we're doing. So that's a good chance to really build into that form and technique when you take these exercises away from this session and implement them into your workouts, whether that be in the gym or at home. And we're just going to go 4 more for 4, 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff. So from here, we are going to bring it down onto the mat. What we're going to do is we're going to come onto the knees, and we're going to bring the torso into a tabletop position. So bring the palms of the hands out in front of you, shoulder width apart, and then try and make that nice flat back down the spine. You might need to pull the knees forward just a touch. You can really tuck those toes underneath, because all we're going to do from here is we're going to go to some knee lifts. So all we're going to do is we're just going to lift the knees up, pop the hips, and then lower it back down. Lift the knees and pop the hips and lower it back down. Doesn't have to be a drastic movement here, keeping it nice and tight, nice and controlled. You're probably going to feel this into your quad muscles in the front of your thighs. Your calves are activated as well because the toes are tucked under. But this is really going to start to work into those transverse abdominals that live in the base of the core, and also give a little bit more activation into the rest of the abdominal muscles and into those supporting muscles that run around that torso. So we're going to go for 5, 4, for 3, for 2, I should feel it now, and for 1. Lovely stuff. We're going to untuck the toes, just sit back onto the heels for a moment, really expand that chest out, so lengthening that spine, and again just naturally expanding those abdominal muscles. Again, stretching the ankles and the feet slightly here, and those quads because we are utilising them. And we're going to go for 3 sets of these today. So carefully bring the hands back out in front of you, shoulder width apart. Make sure the shoulder, elbow and wrist are nice and aligned. Tuck those toes underneath, and you might need to bring those knees forward a little bit to do so. And again, all we do is we just lift the knees, pop the hips and lower it back down. So what you can do if you want to increase the intensity of this movement is don't allow the knees to touch the floor. Keep them hovering just above that floor and keep that same movement pattern going. As always, you could manipulate between those 2 movements. You could rest the knees for 1 rep and then keep them elevated for the next. Getting some arm and shoulder activation here, as well as quads and hamstrings. Into those calves, we're going to go for 4. Trying to keep that nice flat back for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff. We'll then tuck the feet, sit back onto the heels again if you can. And again, just lean back slightly, really expanding that chest. And again, you can do this by tucking the toes still and elevating that torso. Still going to get a little bit of a stretch into the quads. But I'm just going to manipulate between those 2 positions. Lovely stuff. And we're going to go into our 3rd set. So again, bring the hands forward, shoulder width apart, push the shoulders forward so the shoulders, elbow and wrists are aligned. Tuck those toes under, and when we're set, when we're ready, we're going to lift the knees, pop the hips and lower it back down. And again, even if you are resting the knees onto the floor for every repetition, this is still going to activate right into the base of those abdominal muscles. Try and keep that spine nice and long. Shoulder blades nice and retracted, so we keep it nice and stable and strong through that upper body as well. We're going to go for 5, for 4, 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Take a little pause. From here, as we are on the knees, we're going to take it into a few plank variations from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down onto the forearms. But again, if being on the forearms for a plank feels a little bit too much, you can always keep it up on the hands and go into more of that high plank position. I'll work my way through both. So again, shoulders over the elbows, set the feet back, find that range, really squeeze and engage the glutes. And we're into our first plank. See if you can lower those hips nice and low. But again, if that feels a little bit too much or is putting too much pressure on your lower back, lift the hips slightly, just creating a little bit of a diamond or a pyramid through the hips. You're still going to get that core engagement. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable, or as comfortable as can be. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. So from here, we are going to take it into that high plank position. So again, hands shoulder width apart. Push the shoulders forward so the shoulders, elbows and wrists are aligned. Step the feet back. Really squeeze and engage those glutes. And from here, we're going to hold that high plank position. This is going to work those shoulders and the arms a little bit more. But just take a bit of pressure off the core this time. Really squeeze and engage those glutes. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely stuff. Sink the knees down. Take the hips back. So we're just going to a little bit of a child's pose here. Just to lengthen through the arms and let the blood flow back through the shoulders, down into the hands. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Take a little bit of water on board if you wish to. I'm going to take my own advice on that one. And from here, we are going to lie ourselves down onto the mat or the floor or the carpet, depending on where you're doing your workout today. And we're going to start by going into those obliques now. So hands are going to come down by the side of the hips, bring the soles of the feet nice and flat on the floor, several inches away from the base of your hips and glutes. We're going to lift the chin into the chest and imagine like you're holding a peach in between that space. And we're just going to start sliding the hands down towards the heels and down the outside of the feet. And again, don't try and take that full range. Slowly build your way into this one. Allow those oblique muscles and abdominal muscles to start to work and contract. And if you can start to take it that little bit further down the outside of the foot, feel free to do so. We're going to go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to rest ourselves back down. We're going to pair this with another movement. So we're going to be doing 2 sets of each, so it's going to be 4 sets in this sequence. Hands are going to come straight back behind the head. And what you to do is we're just going to move through the arms and the shoulders, so arms stay nice and long. Lift the arms up through 90, allow them to come onto the thighs. Lift the chin and the chest and just slide the palms of the hands up towards the top of the knees. And then take the arms back behind you. Nice and steady, nice and controlled. So this is going to work more of those main central abdominal muscles here, especially the top 4 abdominal muscles. So just working our way through the different muscle groups in the core. We're going to go 5 more of these. And again, find a rhythm, find a tempo that works for you. I'm going quite slow and steady here. You can speed it up a little bit, but make sure you keep that control. Or you can just follow my speed and rhythm. We've got 3 more repetitions. 2 more for 2. And for 1. Lovely stuff. Lie the head back down. We're going to take 10 seconds. You can extend the legs straight out in front of you if you wish to. Just release the hip slightly. We're going to bring the feet, the soles of the feet back to flat on the floor. If you did extend the legs, hands are going to come down by the side of the torso. We'll lift the chin in towards the chest and we start sliding from side to side, working back into those oblique muscles again for that second round. And again, nice and steady, nice and controlled. The slower you can go and the more control you have with core movements, the quicker you're going to get that core development. So once we come back around to this side, we're going to go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax for a moment. Lovely stuff. So we're going to go back into our palm slides to get that contraction into those upper abdominal muscles, but keeping the pressure away from the center and lower back. So we extend those arms straight back behind us again. Lift the arms up through 90. Start to lift the chin into the chest. Hands meet the thighs and slide those palms up towards the top of the knees. And again, working back into those 4 upper abdominal muscles. But again, you might feel it a little bit more on this round simply because with those oblique slides, we are, yes, primarily working the obliques, but we are still contracting from one side to the other through those abdominal muscles. We're going to go 5 more repetitions from here. 4, 5, and again, just find that rhythm, find that tempo that works for you. 4, 4, or just follow my movements and countdowns. 4, 3, 4, 2, last repetition, and 4, 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Feel free to extend the legs out in front of you. Give the legs a little bit of a shake through the ankles. So from here, we are going to go into some cycle crunches. So how this works, we're going to bring the fingertips either side of the temple and you're going to take that opposite elbow over towards that opposite knee. You can leave the heels resting on the floor or you can elevate the heels off the ground. Either way, you're still going to get that core contraction. So from here, I'm going to start with the left elbow to right knee. So we lift the left elbow into that right knee, not trying to elevate too much of the torso off the ground, just lifting the head and the shoulders. Just allowing us to get that nice tight contraction across the abdominal muscles, across the stomach wall, again working into those obliques. So ultimately now we're combining those two core muscle groups from the last sequence and putting them all into one exercise. We're going to go for 6, for 5, for 4, nice strong work everyone, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff everyone, nice. So we're going to combine that cycle crunch with another movement. I'm just going to take a bit of water on board, feel free to do so. Wow, flying through this 20-minute core burn, 16 minutes in, stick with me, 4 to 5 minutes to go. So the next one we're going to go into is something called 21s. We're not going to do 21 today, but you can challenge yourself if you wish to in the future. So arms come straight back behind you, legs are straight out in front of you. We're going to work through both arms at the same time, but work through alternate legs. So as I lift the arms through 90, I lift the chin into the chest, pull the right knee in, and then extend it all the way back out. Next repetition, we work through the left leg. And on that third repetition, that's where you're going to pull both knees in and then extend it all the way back out. So really putting the emphasis, working through the abdominal muscles primarily on one side, into the abdominal muscles on the other side, and then getting that nice full contraction all the way through. Now, stay with me, we're going to key out there. We're going to go for 6 more. 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. Lovely stuff everyone, nice. Take a little moment. From here, we're going to take it back into our cycle crunches again. We're going to do 2 rounds of these movements. So ultimately making 4 sets within this little sequence that we're working into. So again, with the cycle crunches, fingertips come either side of the temple. We extend both legs straight out in front of us, and I'm going to go left elbow to right knee again. So I lift the right elbow as I lift that right knee in, and already just off that first repetition, I can really feel that extra work and contraction across those abdominal muscles and stomach wall and the obliques. Nice and steady, nice and controlled. And yes, we're taking the opposite elbow in towards the opposite knee, but I want you to think about taking that opposite shoulder in towards that opposite hip so we can keep that real tight contraction. We're going 6 more reps from here. We go for 6, 4, 5, 4, 4, oh, feel that, 4, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. Lovely stuff everyone, nice. Take a little moment. We go back into our 21s again. Again, today, not doing 21, we're probably working to about 12. But again, if you want to challenge yourself at some point and work to that full 21, it doesn't sound like a lot of repetitions, but as you probably realized from that first round, you can really feel it. It really works that full range of the abdominal muscles. So we're going to set ourselves, arms come straight back behind us, legs straight out in front of us. We work through both arms at the same time and go alternate legs and then into double legs. So I'm going to work through the right hand side, I'll pull the arms in, lift the chin into that chest and lift and pull that knee in towards that space you're creating. Third repetition, we work through both legs. There's 3. We go to right, to left, and then into both. Nice, there's 6. We got 6 more. We go for 3, for 2. Nice, we're going another round after this one though, and for 1. Last 3. We go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Nice, take hold of the knees from here, squeeze the knees in, lift the chin into the chest to hold that contraction and release. Lovely stuff everyone, nice, strong work. So from here, we're just going to finish with a side plank on either side. So we're going to come onto the side, so make sure that forearm is nice and planted, shoulder and elbow aligned. Your lead leg's always going to be that top leg. So for me at this point, this is my left leg. Set the lower leg behind, and you can put the hand in front of your hips if you wish to, and we're just going to lift the hips off the ground and hold that side plank. We're not going to be here for long. This is our last little push. We're just going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest the hips down. We're going to rotate, take it into the other side. Last movement from here. So that top leg's going to be that lead leg. That bottom leg goes back behind us. Shoulder and elbow aligned. Forearms nice and strong. Again, you can use that spare arm to lift the hips and bring the hand onto the hip if you wish to, or keep it out in front of you for that little extra support. Last little push from here. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. We flew through that. Part 2 of building that strong core and that strong stabilization through the glutes and the midriff. This week we really focus right on that central part of the core. Good work, everyone. I'll be back next week for part 3. We'll crank it up another notch. But appreciate your time. I'm Jamie from Coaches for Change, here for Westside Wellbeing. Like, subscribe. We'll see you soon. Catch you later, everyone. Goodbye.